Willie Nelson gave me this pick when I met him a couple years ago, and his son Lucas gave me this pick. And the other two House of Blues picks here came from a close friend. She passed away and she wanted me to have those, so she gave me those picks. And so that means a lot, you know. But I have all sorts of crazy shit in this room. Guitars, darts, a Jesus bobblehead, syringes. No, I'm not a junkie, although sometimes it may seem like I am. I'm not. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed when I was 10 years old on New Year's Day. Happy New Year's, Rick. It's unfortunate that it happened, but, you know, Eric Clapton said, you got to know the blues to sing the blues. And so I guess that's my way of knowing the blues. But, hey, could be worse.
Yeah. Wasn't B.B. King a diabetic too?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. I think he was a type 2 diabetic. But he was diabetic. That asshole Bret Michaels from Poison, he's diabetic. Well, I was born and raised here in Oceanside, California. Born back in '96. And I was adopted at birth by these wonderful people who I call my parents. They raised me. They allowed me to pursue my dreams, and it's always going to be that way. Now, my brothers, I have a great relationship with my brothers. My brother Michael, he's the oldest. He just moved to Colorado with his girlfriend, and he's starting a new life out there, and I want to try and get out to see him soon. And MacGyver, that's what we call him, Goob. He likes to be called Gooby. Goob gang or die, y'all. He's got 2 kids.
About to go past the motherfucking Scott County, free my motherfucking nigga.
Which he just got full custody of today. He's a law-abiding citizen. Just for the record, I'm looking out for you, Goob. You know, so I have a pretty decent relationship with my biological family. Some of them not so much. It was always different for me growing up not knowing anything, because my parents had to keep everything in the dark, because my dad, I mean, he was a schizophrenic. You know, he kidnapped my brothers when they were very little and tried to run off, and it was just a terrible, terrible thing. And I was adopted at birth, so I didn't have to deal with any of that. I was very blessed. But, you know, there's still those, you know, who was he, you know? This is an old picture. This is the only picture I had when it all went down. You know, my parents here. These are my 2 brothers. My dad died in 2012. Just got out of the hospital, and he was having DTs. And he walked out into the street and got hit by a truck. I tried to help out his older sister, Tina, who was living out on the streets in Anaheim, heroin addict, and I went up there and tried to help her, and then that's how Kevin ended up with a dog.
Really? And then what happened? What? No. Yeah? Oh, yeah. I can't believe anyone would do that to you.
You know, started playing music when I was 6 years old. I got a piano teacher, and I did that, and I never really got into it. You know, I was just a kid, you know, and doing kid shit. My piano teacher took me to this concert when I was like 13. She took me to this concert, and it was all blues and Zydeco music. And I got to go up on stage and play with a band called the Bayou Brothers, which are a local San Diego Zydeco band. And my life was never the same. A year later, I had a bike accident and I broke my leg. And I was in a cast up to here, and I was basically wheelchair bound for a whole summer. So I went out and bought a cheap guitar, cheap Ovation guitar. First song I wrote was West of the Rockies.
I live in a place somewhere west of the Rockies, and I fly higher than the skies.
I was 14 years old, high out of my mind on pain pills for all the pain, and I couldn't go anywhere. I was laid up all summer. And so Brock had always been interested in playing the drums, so my mom went out and bought him a $100 snare drum down from Oceanside Music Supply. You know, Tweaker Danny had always played harmonica, and we're like, let's start a band, fuck it. Let's start a band, why not? You know, we're all somewhat musically inclined, so what do we have to lose? It's fun. You know, we've had a lot of different band members over the years, but Brock's always been a constant. Kevin doesn't do all the shows because he doesn't like to drive. Tweaker Danny was a harmonica player, and he's living somewhere out in Wildemar now. We had a falling out because he's Tweaker Danny. 3 different bass players, Paul, Ryan, and then we had Alex. Well, we toured with a guy named Frank too, and he's a nice guy. And then we finally got Gordy. Gordy's really the best bass player we've had in terms of reliability, responsibility, and just being a good person. And he's musically very talented. He could play any style. We had a few different pedal steel players over the years. Our first steel player was a guy named Scott Sullivan, and he put in a lot of good work for the band. He just got caught up in work and couldn't do it no more. And so we switched over to a guy named Steve Catt, and he was fantastic. That guy could play anything, country, blues, jazz, anything. He just got burned out of the whole gig scene and everything like that. He'd been doing it his whole life, so he's working with dogs now. And most recently, David Mills. We've been fortunate enough to keep on playing and keep having these great shows. The band, it's evolved quite a bit now, and I think the only way is up with where it's going. You might say, Rick, what the fuck do you know about country music? What the fuck do you know about anything? You grew up here in Southern California. You have a nice house. Your parents are nice, normal people. I've been all across this country. I've been in places that you don't even want to know about. I've had experiences that you wouldn't even dream about. My health, I've been on my deathbed 3 times, at least. People get carried away. Country music is just music from the heart.
With the eagles soaring high, from the oceans to the painted desert sky, I live and die.
Some people call me an outlaw. I think that's what I am. I'm a country singer who wears Tommy Bahama shirts and crushed velvet jackets with ostrich boots made by Luke Mason. So I think I'm all right. I drive a Mercedes-Benz sometimes. What can I say? Rowdy Rick, always slick. Some people call me a dick.
Plenty and free. If you ever decide to go there, you find a lot of